Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Oh, Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to Temple Beth Or. For those of you who are new to our congregation, I am Rabbi Mark. Music is led by our cantor Ariel and accompanied by Dr. Ray Irwin, and of course the other one who needs no introduction, Trent Porter, our Bar Mitzvah boy, is with us this afternoon as well. Trent will be leading us in our Shabbat worship service. This is our opportunity to pause from all of our doings, to take stock of where we are in our lives and to consider the choices that we are about to make during the week ahead. As human beings, we are endowed with free will and called to partnership with God and making the appropriate, right, good, better choices with our lives. Becoming a bar mitzvah is a stage in one's life which denotes that this individual is more prepared to make even better choices than the ones he has made before. And if it was a girl, the bat mitzvah, than she has made before. Our prayer books you will find under the seats in front of you, or those brave enough to sit in the front row under your very seat. And one of the first things you might notice is that the book seems to open backwards. It does not open backwards. It opens the Hebrew way, which is read from right to left. In your prayer books, you will find not only the English and the Hebrew, but also a transliteration. The Hebrew is spelled out phonetically in English so that you can follow along. However, the prayer book that Trent uses does not have the transliterations. He's reading strictly from the Hebrew. Otherwise, why spend all those Wednesday afternoons in our Hebrew lab learning to read the Hebrew if you could just read it in English characters? We come together this morning from a variety of different faiths to celebrate what is common to all humanity, our spiritual selves and our spiritual sides. And with that, we gather to share in our Shabbat worship. We greeted you with Shabbat Shalom. May you have a Sabbath of peace. Indeed, may it be a restful day for us all. As we begin with a melody, I need to grab the prayer book and find out why my mic's not working. My mic decided to take a Shabbat break as well. We begin with words that come from Psalms that you can find beginning on page 220 in your prayer books. The Shabbat afternoon service begins with a section of readings that's known as Ashrei, taken from the first word of this particular song, happy. Indeed, we should be happy. It is Shabbat, it is a weekend, and we are celebrating with Trent and his family in a wonderful accomplishment. Our cantor will lead us in an English version. English and Hebrew.
English and Hebrew.
English and Hebrew.
Ashrei yoshvei beitecha, od yehalelucha selah. Ashrei yoshvei beitecha, od yehalelucha selah. Ashrei, ashrei, ashrei yoshvei beitecha.
I invite cousins Renato and Lauren Reyes and Kevin and Ali Kendall to join Trent and I and the cantor on the bima, and as they make their way forward, I invite us all to rise as we are able. Ribono Shel Olam, creator of the universe, we gather on this Shabbat afternoon to celebrate creation and to share in the pride and joy of the Porter family as we celebrate Trent's accomplishment of becoming a bar mitzvah during this Shabbat. Although you are the one God of all humanity, we have heard you in a variety of different ways and have imagined you on our separate paths. We have heard your word spoken through the prophets and sages and teachers of all times before. And as we gather on this Shabbat, we are grateful for the diversity of the world in which we live and the many ways in which we are able to celebrate you and to celebrate the world that you have entrusted to us. Our hearts are overflowing with joy as we come to this Shabbat day, joy and pride in Trent's accomplishment, joy and pride in our ability to be a partner with you in the process of creation. May the words we share this afternoon go with us as we depart this temple and sanctuary, and may we take them into the week ahead so that we might always feel your presence and know your love. And let us say, Amen. I now invite Trent's grandparents, Ellis and Gail Porter, for a special presentation. We may be seated.
Trent, your grandma and I are very proud of you. We know that this bar mitzvah education is a long and time-consuming and arduous task, and we know you've done a fantastic job. We're very proud of you. And so we want to present this talit to you that we purchased for you. We think it was 9 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, but we know it was in Tel Aviv. And we're proud of you, and we love you, and we're here always.
I can't do it. I'm going to cry. So but we're very proud of you.
As I wrap myself in the talit, I fulfill my mitzvah of my Creator. Blessed Adonai, O my soul, Adonai my God, how great you are. You are robed in glory and majesty, wrapping yourself in light as in a garment, spreading forth the heavens like a curtain. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehitatef batzitzit. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, source of all being, who calls us to holy acts through mitzvot and inspires us to wrap ourselves in the fringes. Our service continues on page 66. Each of us enters this sanctuary with a different need. Some hearts are full of peace and gratitude, overflowing with love and joy. They are eager to confront the day, to make the world a better place. They are recovering from illness or have escaped misfortune. You rejoice with them. Some hearts ache with sorrow. Disappointments weigh heavily upon them. Families have been broken. Loved ones lie on a bed of pain. Death has taken a cherished loved one. May our presence and caring bring them comfort. Some hearts are embittered, ideals betrayed and mocked, answers sought in vain. Life has lost its meaning and value. May the knowledge that we too are searching restore their hope and renew our faith. Our service continues on page 75. May the one whose spirit is with us in every righteous deed be with us who work for a good of humanity, and bear with the burdens of others, and who give bread to the hungry, who clothe the naked, who take the friendless into their homes. May the work of their hands endure, and may the seed they sow bring abundant harvest. Our service continues on page 79. Matter is never destroyed, only transformed. So too can the soul evolve, higher and higher, from instinct to inspiration, haughtiness to holiness, selfishness to service, from individualism to union, to join with the soul of souls, the Infinite One. As the soul is magnified and sanctified, so is the Infinite One exalted. Baruch atah Adonai, asher be'ado nefesh kol hai v'ruach kol basar ish. Our service continues on page 81. We continue responsively. I can stay the tears of others. I can see myself as diminished of their sorrows.
I can hasten time when everyone will be able to rejoice in freedom.
And if I can see myself as the companion of those fighting against oppression,
I can honor the struggle of people everywhere to gain dignity and deliverance from bondage.
when I look at myself in the mirror, who will I see? Our service continues on page 85. I am a Jew because the faith of Israel demands no abdication from my mind. I am a Jew. The faith of Israel requires all the devotion of my heart. I am a Jew because in every place where suffering weeps, the Jew weeps. I am a Jew because at every time when despair cries out, the Jew hopes. I am a Jew because the word of the people Israel is the oldest and the newest. I am a Jew because the promise of Israel is the universal promise. I am a Jew because for Israel the world is not completed. We are completing it. I am a Jew because for Israel humanity is not created. We are creating it. I am a Jew because Israel places humanity and its unity above the nation and above Israel itself. I am a Jew because above humanity, image of the divine unity, Israel places the unity which is divine. Our service continues on page 87. We, seekers of God, how do we find you? In good deeds and in the study of Torah and your search for us. You find us in the bending of the knee, in the rigor of study, in the honesty of commerce, through a good heart, through decency, in respect, true fellowship, companionship, and love, through truth and peace, in the no that is really no, and the yes that is really yes. Baruch atah Adonai, hamlamed Torah layom Yisrael. Our service continues on page 100.
Hallelujah, El Bekocho.
Our service continues on page 225. There are times when the love of God burns so powerfully within your heart that the words of prayer seem to rush forth, quickly and without deliberation. At such times, it is not you yourself who speak, rather, it is through you that the words are spoken.
Yit gadol v'yit kadash shemei Rabba, amen. Be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chayetachol beit Yisrael. Bagala, uv'izman kariv, ve'imeru, amen. Yehi shemei Rabba mevarach, le'olam u'lam me'amaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitmar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha, b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma, ve'imeru, amen.
In a moment, Trent will lead us in the tefillah, one of our central portions of our worship service. Prayer is often an awkward, if not difficult, language at times. Sometimes we feel that prayer is like a vending machine. We say the right prayer and we should get to the expected result. Judaism teaches us that prayer is a little more complicated than that. Indeed, to pray in Hebrew is a reflexive verb. We measure ourselves against the words that we are about to share. We speak of Abraham and Sarah, who lived over 4,000 years ago, at a time truly very different from our own, a time filled with great insecurities, when war and disease were literally at the doorstep. We who live in greater comfort and security at this time, we are challenged by the words of this prayer, just as Abraham and Sarah held out hope in a better tomorrow. Wherein does our hope lie for a better tomorrow? We share prayers that challenge us to envision how God might work through us in the world around us, and prayers that remind us that we are called upon to do holy acts, to do special acts of kindness, of peace, and of love. To bring us into this time of prayer, our cantor will repeat the words and melodies, words you find on page 226. The melody will become familiar to you. I invite us to sit quietly for a moment, perhaps close your eyes if you would like to. At some point we will rise as we are able and we will continue with our worship service, but we will let these words and this melody bring us into this time of prayer.
Ufi
ata Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Isaac ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Hazadin Tovim Vekonei Hakol Vizoher Haste Avot Ve'imahot Umiviu La Livnei V'nehem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Hozer Umoshia Umagen Baruch Ata Adonai Magin Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye HaKol Ata Rav LeHoshia Mashiv HaRuach Umorid HaGashem Mekakel Hayim Bechesed Mechaye HaKol Berachabim Rabim Someth Nofi Merofe Holim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishene Alpha Micha Mohaba Gevurot Umido Mela Melef Memim to Mehaya Umatski Ageshua Lenet manata lahayot hakol Baruch ata Adonai Mehaye hakol. We read responsively. Your might, O God, is everlasting. Help us to use our strength for good and not evil.
You are the source of life and blessing. Help us to choose life for ourselves and our children.
You are the support of the falling. Help us to lift up the fallen.
You are the author of freedom. Help us to free the captive.
You are our hope in death as in life. Help us to keep faith with those who sleep in the dust.
Your might, O God, is everlasting. Help us to use our strength for good.
For blessing and not for curse, for life and not death, for abundance not want. Baruch ata Adonai Mehaye hakol. We continue reading together in the middle of the next page. Let us sanctify your name as it is sanctified in the holes above. As it is written by your prophet, Holy, holy, holy is Adonai Tsevaot. God's presence fills the whole earth.
נקדיש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Our service continues on page 233. How shall we sanctify God's name? By being holy ourselves? How do we accomplish this? Let our prayers bring us to sacred deed, to actions that promote justice, harmony, and peace. Please be seated. We continue on the bottom of page 234. Eloheinu velohe avotenu v'imotenu, ritzei v'imnu hatenu, kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein halkenu v'toratecha, sabenu mituvecha, v'samhenu b'shuatecha, v'taher libenu l'ovdecha be'emet, v'hanhilenu Adonai Eloheinu, ba'ahava u'ratzon Shabbat kodshecha, ve'anuhuva Yisrael mekadshe shemecha. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. We continue responsively on the bottom of the next page. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the peace in us, which leads us to do work for peace, we are grateful. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, b'amcha Yisrael, utfilatam be'ahava tekabel, utihi liratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha litzonam. We continue on the bottom of the next page responsively. On this holy Shabbat, we draw near to life, to peace, and to joy.
Holiness in our deeds, worth in our study of Torah.
Let us feed on the love of goodness. Let us drink from the love of goodness, restrain our thirst for excess, and cleanse our hearts to serve life well.
On this holy Shabbat, may we draw near in life and peace and in joy.
Baruch atah Adonai, she'atoha levadecha b'yirah na'avod. Me'odem anachnu lo she'atah hu Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu le'enehem ve'ad. We continue on page 239. For the gift of our souls, for the promise of our lives, for all we are and all we might yet become, for the creative seeds sown within our minds, whose nurturing can yield a grand harvest. For all these gifts we thank you, O God, and pray that we prove ourselves worthy. We read together. May our lives be ripe with the fruit of compassion, sweetly sustain those in need. May we use our gifts wisely and with love, true messengers of blessing to the world. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'eh lechodot. We continue on the next page. Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people forever. For you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hatorit et amo Yisrael be'ashalom.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tazim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tazim le'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tazim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tazim le'olam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tazim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tazim le'olam. Tazim le'olam. Tazim le'olam.
Just as Shabbat asks us to pause from our labors, so too in our worship service do we pause from reading the words on the page and singing the melodies so that we might instead hear the words of our hearts and the melodies of our souls. To bring us into this time of quietude and reflection, I share this thought. I have in my hand 2 boxes, which God gave me to hold. God said, "Put all your sorrows in the silver box, and all of your joys in the gold." And so I heeded God's words, and in the 2 boxes, both my joys and my sorrows I stored. But though the gold became heavier with every day, the silver was as light as it was before. With curiosity, I opened the silver box. I wanted to find out why. And I saw in the base of the box a hole, which my sorrows had fallen out by. I showed the hole to God and mused, I wonder where my sorrows could be. God smiled a gentle smile and said, "My child, they are all here with me." I asked God, why? Why did you give me the boxes? Why the gold and the silver with the hole? "My child," said God, "the gold is for you to count your blessings, and the silver is for you to let go." And so we pause. As Trent becomes a bar mitzvah on this day, he links himself with the chain of Jewish tradition that spans over 4,000 years, back to Abraham and Sarah. In a way, we are not only going to actualize that, but symbolically represent those 4,000 years as we pass to Trent the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, from which he will read in a moment, thus linking not only his immediate generations, but also all the generations of Jews who have come before him. I invite his grandparents, Dr. Michael and Debbie Rudolph, and Ellis and Gail Porter, his parents, Toby and Dana Porter, and his brother, Tyler, and great-grandmother as well, Betty Rudolph, to join us here on the Bima. As they make their way forward, I invite us all to rise as we are able.
Shalom, shalom, shalom,
Nope, you got it. I'm not that old, but I'm falling apart. Let's try this. There we go. This is a very special Torah in the life of our community. It is an orphan Torah. It is a Torah that survived the Shoah, the Holocaust, though those who once read from this Torah all perished at the hands of the Nazis. At the end of World War II, over 2,500 Torah scrolls were found in a warehouse in Prague, each labeled with where it came from. And with that, those orphan Torahs were distributed to the Great Synagogue in London, which acted as an orphanage. Congregations around the world adopted an orphan Torah, thus giving life to that community who had no other survivors to once read from the Torah. And so this Torah comes to us originally from Bohemia, a state within Germany, Bavaria rather, a state within Germany. And it is over 200 years old as best as we can tell. And we give that community life as we pass that particular Torah down to Trent through the generations who have come before him. I now invite to join us here as we prepare to undress the Torah, Mike, Deanna, Jacob, and Jalen Dylan Cousins. We may be seated. I now invite Trent's cousin, Lily, to introduce the reading of the Torah portion.
One of the major components of a Jewish worship service is the reading of the Torah, the 5 books of Moses. The Torah is divided into portions so that the Torah is read in its entirety each year. This week's Torah portion, called TBO, is found in the book of Exodus, encompassing chapters 27 through 30. As this portion opens, Moses is alone atop Mount Sinai, receiving from God detailed instructions regarding the construction of the Mishkan, the portable sanctuary for Israelite worship of God, and all its furnishing. Moses receives instructions for the kindling of the Mishkan's perpetual light, the Ner Tamid. The Torah now shifts its attention to Aaron and his sons, who are here introduced as the Kohanim, the high priests. The Torah goes into great detail describing the priestly vestments: breastpiece, fehab, robe, tunic, headdress, sash, and breeches. Inside the breastpiece are dressed ermine and tumim, oracular devices whose exact use is never described in the Torah. Following the description of the priestly garments, the Torah now turns to the ceremonies of investiture of Aaron and his sons. There are detailed instructions regarding the sacrifice of a bull and a ram, with specific instructions about the blood being dashed about the altar, smeared on the priest's right ear, thumb, and big toe. This portion concludes describing the construction of an incense altar to be built in the Mishkan.
Well done. Very good.
Better than me.
There were some tough words in there, Lily. Good job. Good job. I also invite for a special presentation Dr. Mike and Deborah Rudolph, grandparents.
Good afternoon to you all. I'm Dr. Mike. Debbie, we're Trent's very, very proud grandparents, and I'm here to present Trent with a commemorative Torah pointer. The Torah pointer has been a major part of the Jewish heritage for thousands and thousands of years. This Torah pointer reads Trenton Porter 2/29/2020. Only you could have a bar mitzvah on leap year day. The Torah, like I said, has been part of the tradition for thousands of years, and it has 2 major purposes. First of all, the Torah is made of parchment, and if one was to use their fingers to guide along as they were reading the Torah, eventually this 100-year-old Torah would degrade from the oils and the impurities on your fingers. So the Torah pointer helps preserve our Torahs. It also helps the Torah reader, and that's you, Trent, today. Trent's called to the pulpit to read the Torah for the first time today, and this will help him from losing his way along reading. Your grandmother and I also know, Trent, that you won't lose your way in life. You're a wonderful young man. You made us very proud, and we love you very much. Here you go, boy. Go get him. Wonderful.
It is an honor to read from the Torah. It is an honor as well to be called in that process by sharing the blessings before and after the reading of the Torah. Ya'amdu Rishon Yavarech ala Torah Michael ben Moshe Obatya Devora bat Ploni Eliyahu ben Avram Vasara Vegita bat Ploni. We invite grandparents Dr. Mike and Deborah Rudolph once again and Ellis and Gail Porter to join us here for the blessing over the reading of the Torah. Come stand close. Come stand close. All right, we are ready.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamavarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Adonai Hamavarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. V'zeh hadavar asher ta'aseh lachem lekadesh otam lechachein li leka par echad ben bekar ve'elim shenayim temimim v'lechem matzot v'chalot matzot belulot b'shemen Orkikei matzot meshuchim bashaman, so let hitim ta'aseh otam. V'natata otam asal echad, hikravta otam basal, v'et hapar v'et shenei ha'ilim. Here is what you are to do, to consecrate them for ministry to me in the office of Kohanim. Take 1 young bull and 2 rams without defect. Also matzah cakes mixed with olive oil, and matzah wafers spread with oil, all made from fine wheat flour. Put them together in a basket and present them in the basket along with the bull and the 2 rams.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Stand on the other side next to the cantor, please. Yamdu Shenit Yevarech al Torah Dodim v'Dodot Miriam bat Michael Dvora, Eliza bat Michael Dvora, Yaakov ben Michael Dvora, Yaakov ben Tuvia Vedina. We invite aunts and uncles and brother for our second Aliyah, Tamara Irving, Melissa Rudolph, Allison Rudolph, Jacob Rudolph, and Tyler Porter.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ve'et Aharon ve'et banav ta'akriv el petach ochel moed v'rechatzta otam b'mayim v'lekachta et habekadim v'chilbashtam et Aharon et hakutonet ve'et mi'il ha'ifod ve'et ha'ifod ve'et ha'choshen ve'afadta lo b'cheshev ha'ifod ve'samach Ahamitz nefet al rosho v'natata et nezer hakodesh al hamitz nafet v'lakata et shemen hamisha ve'atzakta al rosho umashachta oto. Bring Aaron and his 2 sons to the entrance of the tent of meeting, and wash them with water. Take the garmenting and put on Aharon and the tunic, the robe of the ritual vest, the vest itself and the breastplate. Fasten the vest onto him with its belt. Put the turban on his head and attach the holy ornament to the turban. Then take the anointing oil and anoint him by pouring it on his head.
Baruch
Ya'amdu Shlishit, Yevarech al Torah, Hechorim, Tuvia ben Eliyahu Vegita Vedina bat Michael Devora. We invite Trent's parents, Toby and Dana Porter, for our third Aliyah.
Adonai Hamburach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamburach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Yeah, just start.
Amen. Ve'et banav takriv v'hiu bashtam kutonot v'chagarta otam avneit Aharon uvanav v'havashta lahem mikbaot chayta lahem kahuna lachukat olam umileta yad Aharon v'yad banav v'hikravta et hapar lifnei ochel moed v'samach Aharon uvanav et yedehem al rosh hapar. Bring his sons, put tunics on them, wrap sashes around them, Aaron and his 2 sons, and put the headgear on their heads. The office of Kohanim is to be theirs by a permanent regulation. Thus you will consecrate Aaron and his sons. Bring the young bull to the front of the tent meeting. Aaron and his 2 sons are to lay their hands on the bull's head.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'chayei Olam Nata B'tochenu Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Ya'amod, 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 Moshe ben Tuvia Vedina la'aliyah leTorah, Bar Mitzvah. We invite for our 4th and final Aliyah, our Bar Mitzvah, Trent Porter.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'shachata et hapar lifnei Adonai petach ochel moed v'lakata midam hapar v'natata al karnot hamizbeach ba'etzba'echa v'et kol hadam tishpoch el yesod hamizbeach v'lakata את כל החלב, המכסה את הקרב, ואת היותרת על הכבד, ואת שתי הכליות, ואת החלב אשר עליהן, והקטרת המזבח, ואת בשר הפר, ואת עורו, ואת פרשו, תשרוף באש, מחוץ למחנה, hatat hu. You are to slaughter the bull in the presence of Adonai at the entrance of the tent of meeting. Take some of the bull's blood and put it on the horns of the altar with your finger. Pour out all of the rest of the blood onto the base of the altar. Take all of the fat that covers the inner organs, the coverings of the liver and the 2 kidneys with their fat, and offer them up in smoke on the altar. But the bull's flesh, skin, and dung you are to destroy by fire outside the camp. It is a sin offering.
Yum.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam natal betochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Kissy, kissy, huggy, huggies. Reading from the Torah is an honor and a privilege. Hearing the Torah read is likewise an honor and a privilege. And yet we know that there are those in our community who are unable to be with us as they are facing challenges to their health and their well-being. And indeed, some might very well be with us here as well. And so at this point, we offer a special prayer for those who are facing such challenges to their health, their bodies, and their minds. The words to our Misha Berach are prayers for healing, can be found on page 253 in the prayer books. In the middle of page 253, and I invite you during the musical interlude between the paragraphs to share aloud the name of a loved one, a friend or family member who is facing such challenges. Indeed, may all who are facing challenges to their health and their well-being, their bodies and their minds, be blessed on their journey, a journey that will bring them to a refuah shlema, a return to the wholeness they seek, the shalom that they desire. Baruch atah Adonai rofei hacholim. We praise you, O God, who helps us bring hope and healing to those who are in need. And let us say, Amen.
Leimot
I invite to join us on the bima Karen Kendall and Alan Kendall, as well as Ricky Sin, as we prepare for the reading of the Haftarah and the redressing of the Torah. And as they make their way forward, I invite us all to rise as we are able.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי לי יאי לי לי יאי לי
We may be seated. It's all yours.
Haftarah intro. The custom of reading Haftarah is quite old, though its beginnings can only be surmised. One theory suggests that when the Greek-Syrian rulers forbade the teaching of Torah over 2,000 years ago, readings from the prophets were read instead. The selection was determined by a thematic link between the weekly Torah portion and that of the prophets. The Torah portion of Tetzaveh includes a description of the various items to be found in the Mishkan, portable sanctuary. Similarly, the Haftarah from the book of Ezekiel details the prophet's vision of a future sanctuary to be built after the exile, including an altar to be placed in the new temple. Ezekiel warns the Israelites that upon their return to Jerusalem and the rebuilding of the temple, they must take care not to pollute or corrupt the new temple, as was done to the former temple. Ezekiel lived in the days before and after the destruction of the first temple by the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar in 586 BCE and the exile of those living in the land of Judah. These exiles to Babylonia probably belonged to the upper classes of Israelite society. They were deeply concerned for the fate and the future of Jerusalem and the land of Zion. Ezekiel's rhetoric is marked by extreme metaphors, and it may be said that he pushed earlier prophetic images to their limit. Jewish tradition sees in Ezekiel a man who combined burning concern for social justice and what's a strong emphasis on the need of ritual observance. Ezekiel preached in the early part of the 6th century BCE.
Thank you, Ricky. Thank you very much.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratzav v'divrehem han'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. Ata ven Adam hagid et beit Yisrael et habeit v'yikolamu me'avonotehem umadadu et tochnit. V'im niklamu mikol asher asu suvat habait uktunato, umotsaav, umovaav, v'kol tzurotav, v'et kol chukotav, v'kol tzurotav, v'kol torotav, hoda otam uktov, le'enechem v'yishmeru et kol tzurotav, v'et kol chukotav, v'yisru otam tzot torat habayit, al rosh hahar, kol gevulo saviv saviv, kodesh kodeshim, haneh tzot torat habayit. You, human being, describe this temple to the house of Israel, so that they will be ashamed of their crimes, and let them measure accurately, if they become ashamed of all they have done. Show them the elevation and plan of the temple, its exits and entrances, all its details and decorations, all of its specifications, its design and its instruction. Sketch it for them to see, so they can observe the entire design with its specifications and carry them out. This is the instruction for the temple. The whole surrounding area on the mountaintop will be especially holy. This is the instruction for the temple. These are the measures of the altar in cubits plus a handbreadth. The base, 1 cubit deep and 1 cubit wide, with the molding surrounding it at its rim and about a hand span width. With the moldings, the height of the altar is thus: from the base of the ground to the lower ledge, 3.5 feet, with the width 21 inches, from the lower ledge to the upper ledge, 7 feet, and the width again 21 inches. The altar measures 7 feet, with 4 horns on the top of the hearth. The altar is a square 21 feet on each of its 4 sides. The ledge measures a square 24.5 feet on each of its 4 sides, the molding around it 10.5 inches across, and its base 21 inches around. Its steps face east. He said to me, Human being, Adonai Elohim says, these are the regulations for the altar when the time comes to construct it. Offer burnt offerings on it, and splash the blood against it. You are to give to the Kohanim, who are Levites descending from Sodek, and who approach to serve me, says Adonai Elohim, a young bull as a sin offering. You are to take its blood and put it on the 4 horns of the altar, and on the 4 corners of the ledge, and on the molding all the way around. This is how you will purify it, and make the atonement for it. You are also to take the bull, which is the sin offering, and have it burned up as a designated place on the grounds of the house, outside the sanctuary. On the 2nd day, you are to offer a male goat without defect as a sin offering, and they are to purify the altar as they purified it with the bull. When you have finished purifying it, you are to offer a young bull without defect, and a ram from the flock without defect. You are to present them before the Adonai, and the Kohanim will throw salt on them and offer them as a burnt offering to Adonai. Every day, for 7 days, you are to prepare a goat as a sin offering. They are also to prepare a young bull and a ram from the flock without defect. For 7 days, they are to make atonement for the altar and cleanse it. In this way, they are to consecrate it. When these days are over, then on the 8th day and afterwards, the Kohanim will present your burnt offering and offerings on the altar and your peace offerings, and I will accept you, says Adonai Elohim. Shivat yamim ta'aseh she'ir chatat, layom ufar ben makar ve'a'il min chatzon, temimim ya'asu, shivat yamim yichaparu et hamizbeach, v'ticheru oto umilu yadav, ve'yikolu et hayamim, v'chaya vayamim hashmini, v'chala ya'asu hakohanim al hamizbeach, et olotechem, et shalmechem, v'ratziti ethem ne'um Adonai Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol haolamim, tzadik bechol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer ve'oseh, hamdaber kayeh, shekol devarach, emet v'tzedek, al ha'torah, ve'al hanvi'im, ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu, likdusha ve'limnucha, lekavod ultivaretz, al ha'kol, Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim la, umvarhim otam, yitbarach shimcha, bifi chol chai tamid leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Almost there. If you roll the Torah to the second chapter of Exodus and go verses 1 to 14, that is my portion. The Torah portion I read begins a few years after we were enslaved by the Egyptians. Moses went to Mount Sinai and returned with him the covenant. He also returned with the building descriptions of the tabernacle. The verses I read describes the clothing Aaron and his 2 sons are to wear during their ordination. It also describes the sin offering they are supposed to bring and how it is to be sacrificed. The 3 questions I had about the verses I read were, why Aaron and his 2 sons were picked as priests and not Moses? Why all the gory details about the sin offering priests are supposed to bring? And lastly, why did the priests, who were supposed to be role models, have to bring a sin offering? Possible answer for the question, why Aaron and his 2 sons are the priests, is because Moses was already more of the political leader, leaving Aaron to be the priest. They needed to have 2 people to have a balance of power, and it's just like our government today, with its balance of power. In my life, what most compares to my Torah portion is me not being picked in my drumline as the snare drummer. The snare drum is usually the leader of the drumline. This is why I wanted to play the snare. Instead of the snare, I was given the tom drum. The veterans who played in the drumline last year were picked as the snare drummers because they had more experience than I did. This is similar to Aaron and his 2 sons being picked as priests, because they had more experience with the sacrificial aspect of being a priest. One answer to the question, why the priests are told to bring a sin offering, is an example for us common people to follow their example. God wants us to know that no one single person is perfect. We can learn from our mistakes and not go out and do it again. This is called teshuvah, seeking out repentance for past mistakes. Rabbi Moses ben Maimon, or Maimonides, was a Jewish rabbi who lived in Spain in the 1200s. He taught us many things, one of which was the 4 steps of teshuvah. The first step is to verbally confess your mistake and ask for forgiveness. This means to say aloud the mistake made, but not carelessly, with emotion and really meaning it. The next step to completing teshuvah is to express sincere remorse, resolving not to make the same mistake again. This is in our language today, saying you're sorry. Third step is to do everything in your power to right the wrong. This means if you broke someone's favorite pencil, find some way to either get another of the same pencil or fix that pencil. And the final step to teshuvah is to act differently when the situation happens again. So next time, don't play catch with someone's pencil and throw it against the wall. It is better for everyone. Teshuvah, which means repentance, is important to me because I am not perfect. I have wronged people in my life. But I asked for repentance, and my relationship with those people was not ruined, and I am still friends with those people today. Now comes the hardest part of the drash. What do you take away from the portion? This is a difficult thing because rabbis have been discussing what to take away from the Bible for centuries. Now it is my turn. So we like it when people can do a good job, right? Now, what if no one did a good job anymore? Let's say for the kids, if your teacher didn't try anymore. You would go to the principal with your parents, but the principal didn't care either. Then who'd you go to? Let's say you took them to court. The judge doesn't care anymore either. Then who do you go to? Maybe you move to a different country. The pilots don't care anymore either, and he made a mistake. And now you're in a falling plane feeling hopeless. That is the definition of chaos. But people, fortunately, aren't like that. We have special traits called pride. That teacher doesn't want to look like she can't do her job in front of her students, so she teaches better next time. Same with the principal and the judge. God wants us to know that all of us can improve and do better. This is what God wanted us to take away from this portion. Like Aaron and his 2 sons, I would like to set an example upon you. Inside, in this entrance of the sanctuary, you'll see a bucket. Inside this bucket are bags filled with everyday supplies. My family and I, for the past couple of years, have been passing out these bags to those in need we've seen on the streets. We recommend that you do the same to make this world a better place. So firstly, I'd like to thank my parents for yelling at me to do my Hebrew when I was playing the drums. I'd like to thank Rabbi and Cantor for the endless hours they've put into me and my Hebrew. I'd also like to thank my religious school teachers for teaching me the basis of what it means to live a Jewish life.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, who's excited?
friend, I cannot believe you are finally a bar mitzvah. Your dad and I are so proud of all the work you have put in to study for today. You have grown into a handsome, respectful, and kind person, and we love you so, so much. As I look out at all the family and friends with us today, I know they are just as proud of you as we are. I remember the day we brought you home from the hospital. Your dad used to wrestle with Tyler on the floor, and I kept thinking, how are we going to do this with 2 children? How will we manage?
Well, of course, it didn't take long for you to join in the wrestling with me and Tyler. You've always been that kind of kid with a huge opinion, tons of energy, and a commanding presence. You were also super rough with us.
Yeah.
Very few of you would know this, but you might have heard me call him B. He got that from the nickname Bruiser, because that's what he did, constantly beating on his brother and I. You were always trying to keep up with Tyler physically and play with him. Tyler loved trains. You loved Nerf guns. You never really wanted to sit still, but there you were on the run. You swam at age 2, snowboarded at age 3. Don't look at me.
Too late.
You've always been so strong physically and mentally. Your coordination and
It's hard.
there aren't enough. Your coordination and athleticism has never been tested virtually every sport you could participate in. You've done it. You've done it with pride and with vigor. You're a competitor and love to be involved in everything you do.
When you were 5, you dove headfirst into the steps of the swimming pool and had to have staples to stop the bleeding on your head. This was days before our family Bass Lake vacation. You had to keep your head dry and wear a cap when your brother and your cousins played in the water. You were so brave when I had to remove the staples from your head, and your dad couldn't take it,
I don't blame you.
in the bathroom of the rental house. You never complained. You just understood you had to deal with it. You were strong physically and mentally years beyond your age.
When you were 10, you ended up breaking your arm playing soccer, and then again at 11 after a rough housing session with your brother. I was told you fell off, was not pushed off.
He admits to it. I'm just...
The second time you needed surgery to strengthen the break and were in a cast all summer long. Again, you never complained as you watched your friends swim. Instead, rather than feeling sorry for yourself for sitting out, you just worked harder and ended up competing in swim meets with a waterproof cast on your arm that I put together. Your mental and physical strength are attributes your mom and I hope you can direct into something really, really great in your life. You've played every sport you could and are now pouring your time and effort into music, percussion, and drumline.
You are the most hard-headed and strong kid. You argue with everything
No, I don't.
and do your best to sway someone in your opinion. You mentioned the other day why you love Judaism so much. You said, because Jews are taught to question God. This is who you are. You ask questions constantly, incessantly, annoyingly, until you can get an answer. Although this is always trying on our nerves, please don't ever stop asking questions. Unless we're watching a movie.
Or a TV show, or the Lakers. If we're ever looking at a screen, hold your questions to the end.
It's habit.
Your desire to know about everything in the world is a trait we hope you can take into your adulthood and continue with you down your path in life.
As you have grown into the kid we see in front of us now, we are proud of the place you have in our family. B. Hold on, this part's good. You're funny and you're strong, and you have a very healthy appreciation for sarcasm, and you are a genuinely kind and respectful kid. I told you this part sucks. And above all, you truly enjoy life. You really don't sweat the small stuff, which is something your mom and I could learn from. Although we agree you could sweat some stuff every now and again. That would be all right. We've seen you learn from us, and we've seen you learn from all of these people, your friends and your family, over the past 13 years. But what you might not know is that we, or at least your mom and I, have learned from you. You've taught us that passion is something that can be focused in multiple facets of life. You're passionate about everything, about everything you try, and it's a lot of things. We can all learn from you and give 100% to those commitments.
As you move forward into your life now, we hope you focus your constantly evolving passions and energy into your education, your friends, your family, and the pastimes that you enjoy. Take your strong will and your personality, find your place in our world. We know you will do great things.
We return the Torah to the Ark. I invite us to turn in our prayer books to page 256. As we turn to page 256, I invite us to rise as we are able. Yahalalu et Shem Adonai ki nishkav shemo levado. Let us praise the name of Adonai, for God's name alone is exalted. Responsively on the bottom of page 257. When Torah entered the world, freedom entered it. The whole Torah exists only to establish peace. That is the whole Torah. All the rest is commentary. Now go and learn it. For those who study Torah are true guardians of civilization. Let us learn in order to teach. Let us learn in order to do. We may be seated. You read from the Torah about Moses, about Aaron, about establishing Aaron and his sons as the priest. There was a special blessing that Aaron and his sons shared with the Israelites. It's one of our oldest blessings. We have found remnant of this blessing written down going back to the 800s BCE. It is one of the oldest blessings that we have found recorded in our tradition. It is known as the priestly benediction, the Birkat Kohanim. It is a three-part blessing, and it expresses our hopes and desires. Trent, for you, Dana, Toby, Tyler, your whole family, all of us as well. Feel yourselves blessed and protected by God. May you know that you live in God's presence all of your days, and may your hearts always be filled with compassion. See the face of God in the world around you, the eyes of your parents, your brother, your family, your friends. And may you always know, Trent, may you always know, shalom, peace. So, how you feeling?
Better?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Good. You should. You should be feeling really good. That's not easy. Chanting from the Torah, it's not easy. Leading a congregation in worship services. And you did so with great poise and with a wonderful self-confidence, and it was a pleasure and a treat. You know, I always feel bad at this time of year in the Torah reading cycle because it's from Leviticus and stuff, and you're always getting, and Exodus, and there's always things in there about blood and guts and gore. And then your mom tells us how you bashed your head in on the pool and blood was spurting everywhere, and I'm going, this is like a perfect Torah portion. It's talking about spreading the blood everywhere, and you've already done that. So,
Done and done.
Way to go. No, you really did a wonderful job, Trent, and I so enjoyed our studies together and working on trying to hammer out and to figure out what is the takeaway from this Torah portion amidst all of those animal sacrifices, which of course was the way we used to talk to God, because we used to do something much more heinous and cruel as human beings. We used to offer the various gods our children. We know this from the Aztec and the Incas because we have found their mummified children. They would sacrifice their children to their gods. We know this because we sing to our children a nursery rhyme about child sacrifice. Fortunately, none of us understand English, but, I'll give you a hint. A baby falling is always a bad thing, and a baby falling from a treetop is nothing short of a disaster. And yet the tribes in Northern Europe would offer their babies into the tree gods, and they would, the nursery rhyme that carried forward that memory was rockabye baby, where? On a treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby cradle and all from a treetop. This was disaster, but it was because we used to offer our children. And the story of Abraham and Isaac is all about moving from child sacrifice to something else, animal sacrifice. And then our prophets immediately warned us, well, God really doesn't need animal sacrifices. God needs us to sacrifice ourselves, our hearts, to be concerned about others, to care for others, to do something for other people. This is what God wants of us, not the animal sacrifices. But it took us 800 years to learn that message. When the temple was destroyed by Rome in the year 70, that was the end of animal sacrifices, and our leaders and our sages and our rabbis looked back in our tradition and said, oh, look what the prophets were trying to tell us 800 years before. God does not need animal sacrifices, and now it is prayers and doing good deeds, like what you've challenged us to do. Not only to say we're sorry, which, especially at this time of year with elections and primaries, is always so very hard for politicians to say those very simple words. And they go on thinking that they are perfect. And our tradition teaches us that no one is perfect. Even Aaron and his sons, the high priest, had to offer sin offerings because they made mistakes. We all do. That's not our excuse. As you said, we have pride, and so we're supposed to continue to try to do better. And challenging us to take bags of supplies to those homeless people we see on the street corners is an excellent step where we too can show our way of living a more perfect life, a better life, by trying to address some of the things that need to be addressed. And so not only are we about seeking forgiveness for the things we've done wrong and learning from our mistakes, but also helping those who have also sort of lost their way by providing them with some sustenance, some care items, so that they can, again, reclaim their humanity and feel human again. So I thank you for challenging us in all those ways and handling the blood and the guts and gore, which now I learn is what you're all about. So, it was a perfect Torah portion for you to be reading. We want to also include and acknowledge appropriate words from members of our congregation. From our temple board, our president, Dina Jastrock. From Sisterhood, we have in attendance Leslie Berger. And from Brotherhood, we have as well David Sane. And from our education committee, Jody Green. And Tyler. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to hold for a moment as Tyler has something he wants to say. Hopefully not break your arm.
I hope so this time.
Yeah.
You go right there.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So I promise I didn't communicate with Mom and Dad about this, but Trent, you're a really, really strong person. I remember one of the defining moments of your life, following a really, really bad, life-altering day at school in 6th grade. You came into my room, and we talked about it, and here you are 1 year later, as happy as you've ever been. The changing school situation really showed how strong you were. It takes a special kind of person to come into a new school, not only survive, but to thrive and to make a name for yourself. It took more than just strength to survive, though. You have something really, really special. You have this swagger that I've rarely seen. I'm not sure about Mom, but Dad and I talk about it a lot, actually, how jealous we are of you. Your ability to shrug off the hate, to do what you want, to set trends, to be a trailblazer. To quote what Dad often tells me, I wish I had an ounce of what he has. We all do. When thinking how to explain what I'm talking about to you guys, I'm going to bring into this speech one of the most charismatic gentlemen of our time, a character who defined what the world should view as a man, performer, character, and public figure, someone I believe you share this uncanny trait with. No, I'm not talking about Dad, but rather His Royal Highness Freddie Mercury. You and Fred both have the ability to tell life how life is supposed to work. You show the world all the time that you are at the wheel, and anyone who disagrees with you can watch and learn. You don't take friends. You don't take fake friends. You don't give a second thought to those who want to bring you down. You're strong-willed, strong-minded, and strong-hearted, and these will take you very, very far. My Drosh was a defining moment in my life because when I finished, I looked up and I really thought, for the first time in a long time, what Dominic Toretto said in the Fast and Furious movies. The most important thing in life will always be the people in this room, right here, right now. Look around, Trent. Remember this moment. The people in this room will always be there for you. Rain or shine, day or night, near or far, these are the people who would walk on glass for you. These are your family. Trent. I value our relationship a lot more than I think you'll ever understand. I want to try and get something through your head. I love you so much you'll never understand. You mean the world to me, and I want you to know I'm always with you. Mom and Dad get to guide you through life. Your friends get to hang out with you. I get to do both. I figured in stating this, I should attempt my try at guidance and advice, so here's some stuff to take with you that I wish I knew at my bar mitzvah. Don't procrastinate. Pray often. Love and appreciate what you have. Talk with Mom and Dad always. Never, ever lie. Work your tail off. Tell people how much they mean to you. And remember that your family comes first. There will be times in your life when the world feels like it's falling down. No one understands and no one cares. I'm here, I understand, and I care. Never ever forget that. I'm right across the hall. I love you.
Fast and Furious and Freddie Mercury all in one place. Tyler, those were very powerful words. Thank you so very much. Now we continue again. Dina Jastrock, our temple president, David Sane, president of our brotherhood, Leslie Berger from our sisterhood, Jody Green from our education committee, and I think that's it.
Okay, wow, that's a tough act to follow. I have watched you grow. I watched your parents grow, watched your brother grow. What a privilege and an honor and a joy it is for me to be here today at your bar mitzvah. You were always eager to be up here, even when you were very little. You just wanted to get up here and lead those prayers. You knew you could do it, and you did. And today was absolutely no surprise to me how well you did. You did a beautiful job, and I'm honored to be here and to know your family for as long as I have. You are now official. Here is your bar mitzvah certificate, world famous bar mitzvah certificate, as all our certificates are from Temple Beth Or. Treasure it, you earned it.
Thank you.
Also, as always, we have planted a tree in Israel for you to keep the forest green in our holy land. And lastly, your very own set of holiday machzorim. Don't leave them at home like everybody else does. Be sure you bring them with you for High Holy Days. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Hannah Youngman from our Bolte Youth Group.
Trent, congratulations. You did a fabulous job. The true test of speaking out loud is reading English out loud. Everyone learns the Hebrew boom, boom, boom. Pacing yourself on English was fabulous. You did a great job. Brotherhood presents you a Kiddush cup, so you might always remember this day and have fond memories. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mazel tov. You did a fabulous job. I remember when you came here, and I was much taller than you, but now not so much. You have grown to a wonderful young man, thanks to the guidance of your wonderful parents and your grandparents. On behalf of Sister, we'd like to give you a high to match your brothers and continue on your journey to being a wonderful person.
Trent. Mazel tov on becoming the fourth and final member of the Porter Green Front Row Talit Club. So finally, all four of you will be decked out in your, ritual prayer shawls. There are so many things that I could say to you right now, and I can't, literally can't. So I'm going to tell you on Monday, since I get the privilege of getting you when you don't have drumline, and that makes me so very happy. This is a study Torah. Maybe you can keep it at my house and read it when you're bored. I don't know. But anyway, that's for you, and I love you, and mazel tov.
Thank you.
Hi, Trent. So first off, it's a really cool day today. It's the 29th of February, which happens only every 4 years. So that's pretty cool. just like you. So Bolte, Beth Or Lamarada Temple Youth, let me slow down. It's our youth group. Trent has always been involved in like whether he's a part of it or not. You're officially a part of it, and I would love to see you at Nifty events. We'll get it going a little bit more, and welcome officially. I see you. You came like a little seed in this temple, and then you just like flourished and you grew, and like you're only 13. You have so much more growing to do. It's incredible. I'm so honored to be able to witness this, and I'm so proud of you.
Not only is Hannah with Bolte, but Hannah is also part of our teaching staff, teaching Hebrew and Sunday religious school. As well, teachers present here are Linda Sealander, Alyssa Hess, Deborah Goldfarb, but you haven't had him yet. Who else? Sharon Kaplowitz-Payden and Laura Milhander and Mara Milhander. And so you've got some other future teachers out there as well. And I too want to again commend you and remind you that this isn't the end of your education, but rather there is more to go. So I hope you will continue on through confirmation. We have lots of things to do. Bolte is part of Nifty, and Nifty wants you to try to get you to Israel. And so Nifty is giving you the North American Federation of Temple Youth a $250 gift certificate so that you can go to Israel and hopefully have a chance to see the tree that the temple has planted in your honor. And I have a special present for you, something we're starting now, so that you can hang this up in your room because you chanted, you read from it beautifully and chanted, you chanted from it beautifully. And so I have for you your very Torah verses, all framed and ready to go, that you can display in your room and remind yourself that you can read Torah Hebrew without vowels, without the cantillation marks, that as it appears in the Torah, so it appears now for you in your room. And finally, I want to invite our cantor for a special musical presentation for you, and I will help gather up your goodies here and not run off with them.
I don't know, you might need that study Torah, Rabbi.
It's helpful. It's very heavy.
Hi, Trent.
Hello, Cantor.
Hi. Trent, I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. When I first met you, you were about this big with long hair and 12 different shark tooth necklaces.
Just about right.
And you have grown so much. I know that I only get to see you a couple times a week, but it has been an absolute pleasure to watch you grow, to come in for music on Sundays and to have you so excited about what the songs that we were doing, telling me which ones you're like, oh wow, this one was so epic. I really like this one. Can we sing it again? No, it's not Hanukkah. We can't sing that one again. It gave me such joy to come to your class because of how involved you were and how excited you were and how much maturity you showed even from a young age, how much you cared about all of your classmates, making sure that nobody was left out, always including everyone in discussions and just being friends with every single person you came across. It has just shown from your face you are an incredible person and you have put in so much work for today. You took so much initiative, contacting me, calling me, coming up with times when we were going to work on some of the stuff that you were having a hard time with. You were so passionate about making sure that you knew what you were doing, and I'm so proud of you. You did amazing. I spoke with your family, and as is the tradition at Temple Bethor, it is the tradition for the cantor to give the gift of song, and after talking with your family, they wanted this particular song, Standing on the Shoulders. So please imagine that this is coming from them and the entirety of this room, as it is our prayer for you moving forward. What love the shoulders of the ones who came before me. That's a little tough, Trent.
Now you can sit down. We move to the conclusion of our worship service with the words of our Aleinu, a prayer known as the Adoration, which you can find on the bottom of page 282 in your prayer books. And as we turn to page 282, I invite us to rise as we are able.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adom hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יחיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, those who live on in our hearts, in our memories, and in the place we call Olam Haba, the world to come. The words to our Kaddish can be found on page 294. The Kaddish prayer begins by our rabbis at a conclusion of a period of study, the conclusion of a section of the worship service. They would share a prayer that basically acknowledged that God was beyond all our words of praise, acknowledging a great mystery that at the heart of life, that their paths intertwined one with another, that in their presence they learned something, they argued, they debated, they shared life and living. And as they were departing and setting off on their journeys, not sure when their paths would cross again, they would share this prayer, acknowledging the greatness of God and the mystery. What begins as a prayer at the conclusion of a period of study continues as a prayer at the conclusion of one's life. Likewise, in their presence, in the presence of our departed, we shared life, love, learning, debates, arguments, and laughter. And likewise, we acknowledge the great mystery at the heart of life with this very prayer. We call to mind one for whom we are observing the Shloshim, the 30-day period, my uncle Ivan Goldfarb. And if you are remembering a loved one or would like to include the name of a loved one, I invite you to share that name at this time. To those that we have named aloud and to those that we keep named in the quiet places of our hearts and memories, we link as well the names and memories of the men and women of our armed forces who have given their lives for our liberties and freedoms, those who have given their lives for our safety here at home, members of our police, our firefighters, and other first responders, and the members of the Israeli Defense Forces who have given their lives for the hope of peace. Zichronam levracha, may their memories always be for a blessing, as we share together the words of our Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari vimru. Amen. Yehei shemei rabba mevarach le'olam u'l'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal. Shemei dukudesha berichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. May all of us who mourn and all of us who are bereaved, may we find through God's presence a source of strength, courage, and hope. Above all, a source of shalom, of peace. And let us all say, Amen. We conclude this evening with a special request of Trent and the Porter family. Musical words can be found together with your program that you received as you were entering our sanctuary. The words are by Metasiyahu, and it is one day, and I invite Dana and Toby and Tyler to join our bar mitzvah boy, their son Trent, on the bima, and I invite us to put our arms around the shoulder of someone next to us or hold the hand of someone who needs to remain seated as we share in a hope for one day.
Sometimes I lay under the moon and I thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it will all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, oh, 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 one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose, 'cause we all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving though the waters stay raging. In this maze you can lose your way, your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it faze you, no way, no way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, oh, 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 one day, one day, one day. One day this all will change, treat people the same. Stop with the violence, down with the hate. One day we'll all be free and proud to be under the same sun, singing songs of freedom like one day, one day. Oh, 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 one day, one day. All my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, oh, 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 one day, one day, one day.
We say Mazel Tov to Trent. Congratulations. Hey, you earned it. You did good. You worked hard.
So many presents.
Yep.
Thank you for the tour.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Baruch Tahi. Thank you. Shabbat shalom. I'm still on tour, right? Schedule, so. Yes, you are. So they've been